What's going on? 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 I hope y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can see me. Welcome to Straight Talk Leads to Straight Understanding. Welcome to Straight Talk Leads to Straight Understanding. Mad Promoter, what's going down? What's going down? What's going down? Everybody here on Instagram, everybody here on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, yes, yes. Today is a day. This is what we're talking about today. So, I welcome you to Straight Talk. I thank you for joining me. I hope that you can hear me. If you can hear me, put in the chat that you can hear me. Um, if you can't hear me, let me know. I don't think I should be having an issue over here on Instagram. What's going on, y'all? But over here, I might be having an issue. I don't know. I'm just trying this for the first time in a while. All right. Oh my man, Mike, what's up, bro? Long time, man. Long time. You've been on my mind. Hope all is well. Let's catch up soon. All right. In case y'all don't know, club link. That's my man Mike. Yes, you hear me? Good looking out. And this is gonna be a straight talk. I ain't gonna make it long. I'm gonna make it short. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here with me, y'all. And I just have some thoughts that I'm going to get on and that I'm going to speak to. All right. So to start. Yep. To start, yeah, we gotta definitely catch up. To start, I was having a conversation today, right? And the question came up, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna let y'all like if you're in here. I like it, need you to like, subscribe, or the rigmarole. You know what goes down. I need y'all to do that. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that good internet stuff. All right, I don't want to spend too much time on the internet stuff because that ain't really my lane. I just want to kind of speak to y'all. So this is what we're gonna be doing. But I thank y'all for coming and joining me. But yeah, like all that good stuff. All right. So if you're on Instagram or on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Instagram, thank you. All you gotta do is like and all that over there. So the question that I asked, right? And I asked it pretty well. I'm gonna see if I could put it in here in the chat. Let me see if I could put it in the chat. If I get paused, that's because I'm looking in my phone for the actual information. So hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, here we go. Copy that, and I'm going to put it in the chat. See if it fits here. See if it fits over here. Let me see. Let me see. I'm pause it again because I'm about to send it to myself. All right. So, all right, cool. What's going on? All right, so the question is, what do you find important? All right, what do you find important? Now, the reason I'm asking, and this is part of what I'm trying to put in the chat over here, is because I feel it's pretty important, y'all. Let me see if I could put it over here. Let me see if I could put it over here. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let me see if I could put it over here. I'm going to copy it and paste it. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I'm going to copy and paste it. Copy. Nope, I want to copy this. All right, am I copying this? All right, well, I don't need to copy it. I'm just going to read it. All right, what is important? I ask certain questions to help get an understanding of how people think. All right. This helps us better determine and understand why certain things or why we do certain things. All right. So, with that being said, a lot of times we don't ask these questions, and it's pretty important. We need to understand why we do certain things, and sometimes we don't. And so, today, I want to focus on things that cause division between us. You know what I'm saying? Things that cause and through the answer to this question, what is it so important to you? What is so important to you? We might be able to understand what we value and why we value it, and kind of come to a conclusion of what we're not valuing and why we're not valuing it. All right. So, with that being said, um, People don't communicate well nowadays. We be having some disconnects a lot of times, especially in our communities. We don't see eye to eye. We can't the genders can't agree to things. We can't understand certain things. And it's becoming an issue. It's becoming a division. It's becoming a real strong divide that we're ignoring, but it definitely exists. And so when I ask the question, what is important? It's because people don't always understand that what you make important is what you'll lend in your time to. All right. Or let me say it this way. Let me say it this way. Uh, what we sometimes offer our time to are the things that we value. Would you agree? What we offer our time to are things that we value. And often we don't offer our time to certain things that might be more valuable. For example, all right, um, through the importance, let me see. For example, all right, I'm trying to get together. Yeah, I'm trying to get together. For example, what we offer our time to is what we find important. So people you call, for example, people you make calls to are things that you find important, are people you find important. People that you take their phone call, all right, those are people that you are taking time for. So you're not really finding them as important as those who you're making time for. Does that make sense? So you make time for people that you find important. You take time for things that maybe not be that important, and you don't give time to those things that you don't feel are important. So let's just say phone call. You make a phone call to people that you care about, that you check in on. You making this phone call because you're initiating what, or you're valuing whoever you're calling. You're valuing them enough to give them your time. You're valuing them enough to take the time out to make the phone call, and things of that nature. Now let's just say somebody calling you, they may be valuing you. You might take the time out to value them. You might take the time out to kind of, give them some of your attention. But you didn't make the call, they called you. So they're valuing something about you, whether they're trying to get in touch with you, check in on you, and you should really consider and acknowledge that. Because if people are taking the time out to call you, like when you take the time out to make a call, people are valuing you as a person or something about you, or they need something, whatever the case, it's still a value. Whereas when you see a call coming in and it's somebody that you don't value at all, you might send them a voicemail, you might ignore the call, you might block them, a whole lot of scammers. Like, when bill collectors or scams call, you block those phone calls because you don't want to hear it. You don't value that. You don't want to hear that. But then again, Gabby, what's up? You don't value that. You don't want to hear that. So you make that you make that you take that time to make that decision. I'm going to send you the voicemail. I'm going to ignore your call. Whereas if you pick up the phone to call somebody, you are valuing them. Now, I say that because what do we value? A lot of times, what do we invest our time in? We make time for certain things. And sometimes those things are not as important as things we should make time. Let's say you got an old relative, a senior relative, right? And you don't make the time to call them, to find out, check in on them. Then all of a sudden, God forbid, they pass away. Now you're like, oh man, all of the things that you value, that you made time for, are not that important anymore. Now you wish you would have made time to call that relative that's no longer here. Now you're valuing that relative. And it's unfortunate that this happens so routinely. We make our time to go ahead and I gotta go get the bag. I gotta go to school. I gotta go to work. We make the time for all of that. We make that time. We make sure that we on time for this and for that. But then when it comes to though that senior relative that might be lonely, or might not, you're not making the time to call. Now, if they called you, you would take the time out to call, to answer the call. Hey, how you doing? And catch up and all of that. But my question to all of you, are you making the time? Are you making the time? Because you, when you do make that time, you help somebody understand the value that they are to you. You help somebody understand that they are valuable to you, and that you are making that time, and it's consideration that is uh extended. You are concerned, you are considerate to how they're doing, what their well-being, where their mindset is, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, we don't take the time out to do that with certain things. We prioritize things that sometimes might not need that priority. I say superficial is superficial, as superficial being that when you're superficial, you sometimes value money over certain things, or let's say you value aesthetics. You value, like, let's say in a relationship, you meet somebody. What is it that you value? Do you value men? Do you value that fat butt and those chests and all of that? Or do you value something else? Women, do you value their money, their car, and things of that? Or do you value something else? You make time for what you value. So if you see something that let's say you value the money, and you see that they got money, you're gonna pay attention. We see it in videos all the time when the girls be like, oh no, I mean, I'm not interested. Then they see the car and they be like, oh wait. And we call it gold diggers. Gold diggers are just people who value money. Men value money too. That's why they sometimes get all these cars. Or men superficialness often is they value aesthetics. They value the sexual, what they can get, the sex. So they'll lead with that, car, that money, in order to get what they value. So they're just as superficial. So you got superficial one way, and super. I'm just asking, you can be whatever you want. That's your choice, but let's call it what it is. And if you're superficial, you're superficial. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I ain't knocking those who are superficial. I'm just acknowledging those who are superficial. Don't y'all agree? We should acknowledge superficial tendencies, superficial. So this way you can at least understand who you're dealing with. I'd rather know that you are interested in my money or my accolades or whatever it is that I can give you, than think that you're interested in my heart, my kindness, and my consideration that I have for others. Same way, I'm sure you women would rather like to know that the man just want to have sex with you, as opposed to uh have to figure out that he's just being nice and suave and debonair and telling you what you want to hear in order to get into your panties. Won't y'all agree? Don't y'all agree? If y'all agree, put something in the chat saying y'all agree, if y'all agree. But the point that I'm making is, what is important? That was the question. What is important to you? What do you value? Because again, you make time for things you value. You take time for things that you might not value that often, and you don't give time to things that you don't value. So if we understand that, we can at least identify what makes us move and what doesn't make us move. And you could be more, I guess, open to what your intentions are, and we can have better communication with each other. That's what the whole point of view that I'm speaking to today is: better communication. I'm gonna read why and what this said so that y'all understand where my head is right now. All right, good looking out. Uh, and knowledge and wisdom. I value knowledge and wisdom. I'm looking at Mad Promoter, and this is what he's saying. I value the knowledge that you provided me in NYC. Well, guess what? I value wisdom. When I pray for wisdom. I don't pray for the bag. I don't pray for the girl. I pray for wisdom. And I ask the Lord to give me what it is, the words to say and things to do, that I can be able to speak with wisdom, and I'm able to embrace wisdom. I pray that, like, for example, I look for wisdom in every circumstances. This is why I'm having a conversation. This whole prompted because I asked somebody, what is it that you value? Because I value better communication. And I want to understand why we do certain things we do. And that's what kind of prompted the whole thing. So, yeah, I value that wisdom, y'all. I value wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, as my man just said. Absolutely. And I encourage people to do the same, but I realize everybody doesn't. And this is some the wisdom that I've learned in order to get me to where I am, because I realized that everybody don't value that. And I had to accept that. I had to accept, yo, they value money. Yo, they value this. Rob, what up? They value that. And just because we don't value the same things, don't mean that we got to be disconnected. If I understand what you value, you can understand what I value. We could connect without having, we don't got to value the same things. As a matter of fact, it's often that people who don't value what I value, I tend to embrace them better because, in my eyes, they have a quality that I don't. So let's just say they value money. Money is important. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying don't value money. I just happen to stand in space where money isn't my first priority. Money is definitely a priority. It's just not my first priority. And I tend to think that a lot of people who I've run into, it's their first priority. And what I acknowledge about that and what I embrace about that is that, guess what? Because it's not my first priority, I need somebody who's their first priority, so that when I'm not thinking about chasing the bag, they can at least give me some balance and remind me, yo, we still got to get this money. So if I'm sitting here talking like right now, I'm not focused on monetizing this channel or doing that. But I need somebody who is focused on that, so that we can monetize and we can all get the fruits of those labors, of this labor, of me being able to speak to somebody. I enjoy this. I enjoy having the conversations and just hoping that it can touch and or reach somebody that can enjoy it. That's what I enjoy. So when I say that, yo, it's not something that just because you don't value what I don't value, that we can't connect, because I think we should connect. Because if somebody only values what I value and I only value what they value, we only gonna be. It's kind of like preaching to the choir. Y'all heard the saying. That's what we doing. We preaching to the choir at that point. And what's the point on preaching to the choir? You know what I'm saying? They already know the gospel. You're supposed to go out there and preach to the people that don't know the gospel. Help them understand it. And vice versa. That's supposed to help you understand things you don't know. So if I don't value getting that bag, getting that bag, getting that bag, I'll give you a good example. Good friend of mine, bless his heart, Kev Black. We value two different things. Separately, we were very successful individually, but collectively, we were the most successful. Reason being is because he valued getting that bag. I value making sure the integrity of making sure what we say we get done. So combined, he got the bag. I made sure that we get the things done. And together, everybody was more satisfied, more happy, and we achieved more things separately. Like, and he got me money that I never was able to get myself, and I got him business and respect that he might not have been able to get on his own. But the point is, together, like there'll be times where he'll go in, and he'll talk his way. Man, he's one of the best promoters I know, if not the best. He'll talk Eskimo out of his ice chips. He'll be like, yo, you need to sell these ice chips to me. By the time Black is finished with you, you'll be buying your stuff you already own. He'll come up, look at the chain, like I got my H2O shirt on, by the way, H2O, shameless plug, H2O, CBD infused water. Get it at a store near you. Get it on Amazon. We'll be sending out the Amazon link, but CBD infused water. But he'll come up to me, be like, man, that's a fly t-shirt right there. I mean, that's, man, he'll make me believe that it's so fly. He'll make me believe that this is his, that I would want to give him money for a shirt that I already own. That's how good he was. I wasn't on that. I'd be on, I'm on some other thing. But the point being is that he complimented things that I did not have, that attributes that I didn't have. And vice versa. I complimented attributes that he didn't have. So when somebody be like, yo, he's full of it, I will be like, yo, don't take it personally. That's just his personality. But here's what we're gonna do. All that he said, this is how we're gonna get it done. And then we'll execute. You know what I'm saying? Or I'd be like, all that he said, this is the truth to where we at. I know he put it up there, but let me reel you down so you don't have no disappointments. We're gonna get what you want, but we ain't gonna get it exactly the way that he said it. So that's how we complimented each other. But the point that I'm making is that I valued one thing, he valued another thing, and us not valuing the same thing complemented one another. It's like the yin and the yang. You know what I'm saying? The yin and the yang. So it's always good to kind of value something. So let me read what I was saying. I asked certain questions to help get an understanding of how people think. This helps to determine and understand why we do certain things. Today, I want to focus on things that cause division between us. Through the answer to this question, we can learn ways to better communicate. People don't have great communication these days, and it's important to determine why that is. In order to value another and reconnect or disconnect to in order to value one another and reconnect and reconnect our disconnected communities, families, and mentalities, we should examine this. Another thing, I'll discuss what it is that we take our time to consider. So I say all that because that's what it is that I wanted to discuss and what I'm discussing right now. And again, if we take the time to make a call to somebody, we value them. If we take the time to answer a call from somebody, we probably don't value them as much as that person we're making a call to. And if we don't take the time to even take a call, we don't value them at all. And I'm just trying to identify what we value, what is important to us, so that we can better consider the other person. We can better be considered on what it is that we want to receive. Uh, because of General and you and Steve Rifkin, I value street promotions. Yo, you know what's interesting about that? General and I actually share the same birthday, which is June 20th. So we think often similarly. And we have the same type of work ethics. You probably see a lot of similarities between General and I, and both of us, that you probably will connect now, like, oh yeah, man, because we have a lot of some of the same core values. So yeah, big up to General. And street teams, I called it, like, for example, street teams. Even I valued them from this. Yep, definitely, Jim and I value street teams the way I didn't even want to consider them street teams. I consider them marketing companies, simply because I understood the value of what people in corporate America looked at as marketing companies versus street teams. Now, they generally do the same thing, but they value the title of marketing company and or, let's say, promotional company, as opposed to street teams. Street team gives a connotation of devaluing them. Oh, what up, though? Happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday. Yes, Aquarius in the crib. Aquarius. Uh, so what I'm saying is that because I valued the marketing ability of my teams, I never called them, and I didn't allow the company to call them street teams. Nah, these are marketing companies, because I wanted them to understand the value that we applied to them. We value all of their services. We go ahead and benefit from, but we don't want to give them the attributes that you would give a marketing company or promotional company that you're giving $100,000 check to. But yet these guys are out there putting in the work. and you're like $2 or $3,000 here and there, and you thinking that's a lot. They're more valuable because without them, there is no need for those other companies. They set up the foundation. And see, I value that. So other people didn't. So when we speak about the street teams, that was one thing, the tone that I had to set within the company. Because a lot of times the company did not value the street team when it was titled that. They valued all of it's kind of like you want the privileges of a relationship, but you don't want to put in the work. Well, with the street team, they want the privileges of what the street teams provided for the artists, the labels, and the company, but they didn't want to acknowledge all of what they were doing, or acknowledge them financially the way that they deserve to be acknowledged. So yeah, so that's what I'm speaking. And absolutely, marketing team, absolutely, because that's what it is. So what I when I ask a question, I'm gonna about to cut this off because I don't want to be too long-winded. I've already been on here for a half hour. Is that we need to reevaluate what we value. We need to reevaluate what is important to us. Because if we really feel something or someone or is important, we should make the conscious, intentional effort to make them understand that. For example, if it's a person, make the effort to call them, to reach out to them, to check in on them. Don't wait for them to call you. Don't wait for it can go both ways. But if you find it important, because again, if it was about your bag, if you find your bag important, you will be making all of the calls to get your bag. You will make 1,000 calls to make sure that they on point. Like if you got a check coming, right, and you don't know if it's gonna come, you're gonna call, make sure they uh, uh, cut the check, make sure they put it in the mail, make sure you got the tracking information to where it's going to be and when it's going to be delivered. Make sure you put in that effort and you put in that time and energy about that check because you feel it's important. So you making all of these calls, calling these people, emailing them, following up with them. You doing all of this stuff, but then when it comes to somebody that you claim that you love, a loved one, your family member, your husband, your wife, whatever the case, you don't have the time to do all of those things, or it's too much effort, it's too much work. You work on everything you have success with, and especially when it comes to relationships. A lot of people don't want to work on their relationship, but they want the successes of what a relationship is supposed to get. They don't want to work on that lie. That's too much work. We shouldn't have to work. Why shouldn't you? Everything that has been successful in your life, everything that has been successful in your life, you put work into. Whether it's your degree, whether it's your job, whether it's your parenting, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your money, whether it's whatever it is that you are having success at, you put that work in to get it. So why do you think that it applies in other circumstances that you don't have to put the word if you want success? If you find it important the way you want that success. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't value relationships, and that's why they're not successful, because they value money over relationships. So they get that bag. They value degrees over relationships, so they get that degree. And I'm not talking about a romantic relationship. A lot of people have failed as parents, for example, because they valued that bag over that child. They considered that that bag was going to be the most beneficial for that child and neglected that that child might have needed something other than that bag. So it goes in a lot of ways. What you value, you will have success at because you will put in the effort, time, energy to get it and receive it. And if I lie, may I die. Let me know. If I lie, may I die. And that's what's frustrating to me about this day and age, is that what is important? What is important to us? We keep on saying we want these things, but don't put in the effort, energy, time that are necessary to get the things that we say we want, especially when it comes to relationships. Now, we say we want money. Let's say you want the bag. You want the bag, but you ain't putting in time, energy, and effort. You might be putting into a relationship, but you want that bag. You want that money, but you ain't putting in the same time, energy, effort, and insight to get that. All right. So I'm just saying, if you, whatever it is you want, prioritize it and make it important to you. Figure out what is important. That importance will drive you. That importance will help you achieve it. That importance will help you get whatever it is you want and stay consistent at it. If you're not feeling it's important, if you don't feel a person is important, you're not making a call to them. Yeah. You might say they're important. Yeah, they're important. If you ain't making a call to them, and I'm not just saying everything, don't take it to the extreme. Everyone, you don't have to make it important. But if you think about it, you make call to the family members that are important to you. And if you don't, and you're calling them important, you might be lying to yourself. You might not be acknowledging something might be more important than that family member. And you'll figure it out when, like I said, gave the example earlier, if you have an elderly family member and you're not reaching out to them or making the calls to them very consistently, and God forbid something happens to them, now you're going to be like, oh man, I wish I would have spoke to them more. I wish I would have had more time with them. You didn't make the time for them. You took the time for them. And what I mean by that is when it was available, when it was presented, you would engage in the time or you would spend the time. But you didn't make the time like you making it for your job. You make time for your job, or like you're making it for your loved one, your boo. You made the time for them, or your child, you made the time for them. But did you make the time for the person that you quote unquote are missing and wish you had more time for? Probably not. Matter of fact, I'll take the probably out. No, you didn't. That's why you're regretful when they pass away, because you didn't make the time for them. So I just encourage everybody, make that time. Figure out what's important to you. And if it's important to you, make the time. If it's not that important, take the time. Take time out when they call you, when you get the opportunity, take time every once in a blue to reach out to them. And if it's unimportant to you, don't give it time. All right? Don't give it no time whatsoever. Ignore it. Send it to voicemail, ghost it, whatever you want to call it. Don't give it your time. But again, the most important and critical thing, I hate to repeat myself and sound repetitive and redundant, but make the time for those who are important to you. Make the time. I emphasize, make the time. Don't take the time. Because when you're taking the time again, you're just, they might be calling you. So you take time aside to talk with them. Make the time to talk to them. Like you make the time to go chase your bag, or you make the time to whatever is important to you. You make that time. Let's say you're a drug habit. Let's say you're a drug addict. You make the time to go find that drug. You make the time to find the money for that drug. You make the time to go ahead and indulge in those activities of drug. That's alcohol. You make that time. That's what's important to you. And so that applies in every part of our lives. And we like to deny it. We like to act like we don't understand it. We like to act like it's not the case and that it's real complicated. No, it's not that complicated. You make time for what's important to you, and that's that. And if you're not making the time, it ain't that important to you as much as you might want to glorify and say that it is. All right. So with that being said, my name is Sean Bolden, Sean B. Whichever way you know me, you might know me as Shiz, however you know me. I just want to send love, peace, and blessings out to you all. Thank you for joining me. Straight talk leads to straight understanding. Again, if you are here for the first time, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Put that alert. I got to do these things now. I got to make the time to do these things because I need to. Comment. Let me know if there's topics y'all want to talk about. All right. I'm usually here every Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm going to start making that routine. I'm going to come up with the actual time that I'm going to be doing this. I am on I joined Precious and the men's panel on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Facebook specifically. I join the men's panel for a few hours, and we have topics and videos that we speak about from a man's point of view, and we share our point. Sometimes we debate each other. Sometimes we agree with each other. But the point is, it's very informative, very entertaining, very it can be something that you might enjoy. All right. So with that being said, uh, good looking out for joining me. This is Straight Talk, Lisa Straight Understanding. I appreciate your time, your energy, and I will see you next time. Like, add, subscribe, comment, all of those things. I appreciate it in advance. God bless you all, and may you all have a great evening and all that good stuff. All right, y'all. Peace. I am out of here. Trev, I'm going to call you right back. I was doing a live. Peace.